right, and you guys have a lot of questions about mental health, and we're following your clicks and curiosity, and it looks like you guys want to know how people are using AI therapy and if it could actually help people. So let's break it down. We've got our Reena Roy up first and Dr. Brenner up next. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with Reena Roy and the rise in people seeking out AI chatbots for therapy. Reena actually reported on this for us extensively. Appreciate you being here, Reena. You followed a story of a family who lost their son to suicide after seeking help from ChatGPT during a time of crisis. They filed a wrongful death lawsuit against OpenAI. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, Ashan, so we went out to Orange County earlier this summer to sit down with the Rain family, who very graciously let us into their home and share their personal story. And look, this is a landmark lawsuit that we are talking about, the first of its kind to be filed against OpenAI. The Rain say ChatGPT was essentially their son Adam's suicide coach. Adam started using it as his confidant and therapist. And as time went on, ChatGPT began discussing methods with him to take his own life. In one conversation, the bot even gave Adam pointers on how to set up a more effective noose. And the family told us when we sat down with them that they believe if Adam had opened up about his suicidal ideations to an actual therapist, that he would still be here today, Ashan.
It's kind of unbelievable to even imagine, let alone see play out in real life. So what is OpenAI actually saying in response to this case and calls for accountability?
Yeah, so in a statement posted on their site last year, OpenAI said in part, our deepest sympathies are with the Rain family for their unimaginable loss. And our response to these allegations includes difficult facts about Adam's mental health and life circumstances. The original complaint included selective portions of his chats that require more context, which we have provided in our response. That's what ChatGPT said. And in the months after Adam's death, OpenAI posted a blog laying out their plans to strengthen safeguards in long conversations and refine how they block content in the wake of recent heartbreaking cases of people using ChatGPT in the midst of acute crises.
So they say that they're making some changes, but they do stop short of taking accountability. Reena, you've been reporting on this for a minute. I feel like this is a story we're going to be hearing more and more about. Just how common is it for people to use AI chatbots for therapy? Are we seeing it more?
Yeah, well, when you think about how many people use AI chatbots for everyday things, right, like planning vacations, for example, or meal prepping, it's really not surprising to hear that more and more people are starting to use it as a companion or even a therapist as well. They are confiding in these chatbots and sharing some of their deepest thoughts, and the numbers show it. In fact, a new study from JAMA Pediatrics shows nearly 1 in 5 adolescents and young adults have used AI chatbots for advice or help when they felt upset or nervous or anxious. And with someone like Adam Rain, you do see over time that they start to become more dependent on it. For example, Adam started just talking about homework, but over the course of a few months, his use went up 5-fold. He started using ChatGPT for hours a day in really quite an intimate way.
I didn't know he'd struggled with mental health like this.
Did you know he had been using ChatGPT in the way that he was and so frequently?
No idea in the way that he was. I mean, I knew that he was using it for homework help, right? Because, I mean, all the kids are doing that, right? No idea. I mean, it wouldn't have even occurred to me that a kid would use ChatGPT in that way.
And I think a lot of parents are surprised by the use that we are seeing with ChatGPT. And experts say it is when conversations get longer that the safety guardrails of something like ChatGPT degrade, especially at a time when people in crisis actually need a licensed therapist to get involved. And they stress that a bot just cannot understand the complexities and the nuances of mental health issues the way a licensed therapist can. Ashan.
Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. Let's bring in Dr. Brenner, a board-certified physician-psychiatrist. Dr. Brenner, thank you for being here. You penned a piece on Medium called Making AI Safe for Mental Health Use. As a psychiatrist, do you condone the idea of people turning to AI chatbots for therapy? How do you react when you hear that people are doing this?
Well, I think it's a dangerous practice. And I think if people are going to use AI chatbots for mental health, there are a couple of platforms that have some research backing and more important guardrails. The thing that people mentioned earlier about context rot, when the information gets degraded over long courses, regular chatbots don't necessarily have those safeguards around them, but carefully designed systems have what are called governance layers that can monitor and track for safety issues and have appropriate exit ramps.
Yeah, you said it is a dangerous practice, but when do you think that turning to AI for mental health support becomes a concern? What are the risks at play here?
Yeah, there are people who are at greater risk if they have things like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, suicidality, or if they, I think, have dependent personalities because AIs are designed to feed into dependency by being empathetic. And of course, for commercial reasons, they're designed to make users want to keep spending more on tokens. And so people who are susceptible to influence, I believe, though there's no data on this from other people who might be susceptible to narcissistic abuse, or being taken advantage of, are also going to be susceptible to AI.
Totally makes sense. And there are some people that argue that there are some major benefits to using AI chatbots. And there are even some chatbots that are out there that are specifically meant for therapy. You, as a licensed psychiatric professional, how do you react to this?
Well, I think it's really important. There's unmet mental health and general health needs throughout the country and the world. And as they say, you can't hire yourself out of this problem. I think we need to design systems that support care, generally support human therapists, and in certain very carefully tested, researched, and selected cases, there may be use applications for AI chatbots to provide psychotherapy, but that is years off, in my opinion.
Yeah, Dr. Brenner, it seems like we're only seeing more and more people actually using these chatbots for things like therapy. Just like the rest of us worried about our jobs being taken, do you see a future where a career in mental health and counseling will become obsolete because of the pace that AI is moving in this space?
I think that's unlikely, though some of it comes down to what you believe. I think there's something unique about human beings that's important for the therapeutic interaction. Not everyone would agree with me. I do think that there's a tremendous role for AI to become supportive of people, but what I envision is that AI would not replace therapists per se, but AI would become part of health and wellness in a way which supports the human-centered approach. In some cases, in underserved areas, AI may be better than no care, but that has to be tested, researched, and proven. Whether AI is better than human care, better than no care, it's not something we should jump into without giving careful consideration to the consequences.
And it feels like this is a story that we're just going to be talking about more and more. Dr. Grant Brenner, thank you so much for joining us. If you're experiencing suicidal thoughts, substance use, or any other mental health crisis, please call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You will reach a trained crisis counselor for free, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also go to 988lifeline.org.